Hello, my name is Nathan, and this is the UNR Writing Center's Summary Verse Analysis resource. It's important to know the difference between summary and analysis. Some teachers may ask you to summarize a text, whereas others may ask you to analyze. Summary and analysis are two different skill sets, and they are important to master because they are both often utilized in essays. First, I'm going to talk about summary. When writing a summary, put the main points of the text into your own words. Summary does not express personal opinions or interpretations. It is meant to show the central information of the text. First, read the entire text, noting the key points and main ideas. Highlight and underline if necessary. You can use features of the text such as title, abstract, headings, chapters, and section headings to help you determine what the major ideas are. You can also ask who, what, where, when, and why questions to help determine the most important details to include in your summary. In the summary, you're going to want to state the main ideas of the text in your own words. Make sure to attribute the author and/or text throughout the summary so the reader can differentiate between the author's ideas and your own. You will want to avoid or limit quotes. That is because you want to put the text into your own words, as opposed to having the quotes doing the explaining for you. Now I'm going to give a few techniques on analyzing a text. When analyzing a text, you're going to need to focus on the thesis, the support, and any other claims that are provided. Looking at individual aspects of the essay are useful in uncovering weaknesses and strengths. Analysis is different from summary because in summary, you want to put the text into your own words, whereas in analysis, you're attempting to interpret a text. Essentially, picking apart individual aspects to look at the strengths and weaknesses overall. First, what is the essay attempting to communicate? What is the author's primary claim or proposal? How credible is the writer or publication? With this, you can look at the credibility of the writer. What is their history with the subject? Or, where did the publication come from? When was the essay published? Is it still relevant? Sometimes, if a source is older, then it may become irrelevant or it may have been refuted by somebody else. So time frame is always important. What support is provided? What types of evidence are being used? Is the writer using rhetoric? Are they using facts or statistics? Does the support provided make the argument convincing? Are there any contradictions in the essay? Are there any logical fallacies? In analysis, you will want to point these types of things out. What is not said that should be? For example, does the writer ignore certain parts of the argument presented, or does the writer not address the opposing side? These are all important things to consider when doing summary or analysis. In the following slide, I'm going to provide a model for summary and analysis based off of an article titled Social and Economic Returns to College Education in the United States by Michael Hout. On this slide is an example of summary. Notice that I pointed out the main argument of Hout's article. I also made sure to include any important information. For example, I said, Hout proposes that most universities have selected students with high abilities and test scores, but students who are less expected to succeed benefit more from higher education. So that seemed as though it was an important detail, and note how I also attributed the author, saying additionally, Hout proposes, as opposed to just saying that's what I said. Now on this slide, I have an example of analysis. In the analysis, I also pointed out what the main argument was, stating, Hout argues that education is beneficial for an individual and a society. Then I say, this article was recently published by a reputable college, the University of California, Berkeley. So I'm evaluating the relevancy, saying when it was published. I'm also considering how the place that it was published at adds to its credibility. so I'm evaluating the text in these parts of my analysis. From there I say, but there are still flaws in the arguments that are being made, and I point out that it is not sufficient that Hout presents a correlation between education and a positive trait. So in doing that, I was attempting to point out a logical flaw that I saw in his argument, and that is my form of analysis in interpreting the text. After that, I pointed out that education is not clearly defined in the article. It seems as though this is also a logical fallacy, because in the argument he is saying that education overall benefits a student, but education is not clearly defined. So that may not be a strong point in the argument. This is another interpretation that I have made about the logic in the text. Hopefully these examples give you some more ideas about summary and analysis. They are two different tasks, but they are both essential to good writing. Just keep in mind, with summary, you are attempting to put the important parts of the text into your own words, and with analysis, you are focusing on the thesis, support, and other claims for interpretation and evaluation. Thank you for watching this resource on summary versus analysis. If you have any further questions, feel free to make an appointment at the UNR Writing Center. You can also click on the link below for more UNR Writing Center writing resources.